Paris. Tonight, Craig and Kristen Bell see the sights.
It's Monday, August 1st, and it's time for The Talk. Ooh la la! The Late Late Show's Craig Ferguson is back from Paris and here to tell us about his wild week of special shows. We'll get to the bottom of the Fergasm, what one website calls Craig's power over women. Up next, The Late Late Show's Craig Ferguson.
For 6 years, our first guest has given Americans a very good reason to stay up past their bedtimes. And now he's doing something très magnifique. This week, he's taking the Late Late Show 5,000 miles across the world to Gay Paris. Please say bonjour to Craig Ferguson.
I forgot this is the nicest smelling show in television.
Yeah.
It smells so nice here right now. This is like, it's like a dream I had.
It's Mrs. O. It's her perfume.
Yeah.
Speaking of dreams, I love Paris so much. What made you decide to take the show to Paris?
Well, it was either that or Reno, and much as I love Reno... No, I love Paris. I have a little bit of history there. Don't ask me because I'm not going to tell you, but I have a little bit of history there, and I'd been to the city a lot. And when they said, you know, we can take the show on the road, but we have no money at all, I said, well, let's go to a place that we can film outside. Because if you go, you know, usually if you take a late night show on the road, you go to a studio and you get an audio. But I had no money for any of that, so we just did it outside in Paris.
Yeah, because the scenery was right there.
There you go.
But you had to work with a French crew, right?
We did work with a French crew, yeah. They were very unpleasant and unhelpful. They were fantastic. No. Yes, it was almost as if they had come from Central Casting. They were like, that is impossible. I don't know how you can do this. I'm just going to talk to the robot right here by the Eiffel Tower. They're like, no, this is not possible. To have a robot? No.
They insulted Jeff?
A little bit, but they kind of came around towards the end. I think we melted their, you know, their steely Parisian hearts with our upbeat American ways and chewing gum and nylons.
Now, tell me about this robot, Jeff Peterson. Was it really that difficult to find a human co-host?
I wasn't interested in having a human co-host. I wasn't interested in having anyone who was willing to be a co-host in a show as bad as mine. So what I thought was... is to have a robot. Initially, we had a robot because it was kind of my idea to deconstruct the late-night genre by having someone there that would just give, you know, pre-recorded phrases. And then the guy who did these phrases, Josh Robert Thompson, who's the actor who is the voice of Jeff, kind of was so good at it, I thought, well, just do it all the time then, and it became a real thing. So I kind of came full circle, and now I have a sidekick, but he's a robot skeleton.
He's a robot.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Did you like the trip?
I think he did. You know, with a robot, they're very easy to move. You just fold them up, put them in a case, and
Put them under the plane.
yeah, you could never do that with a regular host. You have to get their shots and everything like that.
Please.
The
And
only
then
thing
you
is,
give them per diem.
right, all that stuff. You have to give them Latin money, and the thing is, the only problem was he has a different socket to the French.
Did you learn that the hard way?
We did, yeah. We had to get Le batteries for him when we were there.
We do have some footage of your trip, and I want you to explain to us exactly what's going on here, because I'm confused.
Yeah, that's me dancing. I was rehearsing at the Moulin Rouge there, right there, like that. That girl was very friendly. She's Australian. They go around a different way.
Does Richard Simmons know you stole his look?
That's the look I was going for. I'm glad you got it. I thought that I was trying to look as unattractive as possible in a room full of very attractive women, and it seems to have paid off.
You've got awfully big feet.
I have got big feet.
Yes.
It's because I've got other big things in my body, and it's all proportion, Sharon. It's just proportion. If I didn't have big feet, I'd tip over.
Speaking of proportion, when I went to Moulin Rouge,
it's physics.
It's that big appendix you have.
That's right, yeah.
Maybe you can explain to us then, since we're on this dirty little topic, the term, someone has coined the term Fergasm.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I think that's quite an interesting thing. What is
Explain.
it? Well, I don't really know what it is. I've heard the phrase.
I've got it.
All right,
I've got it right here. And it says, this is what I meant to say to you. I learned today that there is a word for the pleasure women feel when they watch your show. Let me read something from the Urban Dictionary. It's called a Fergasm.
All right.
Right, this is what it says. You read that, Paul.
okay, the Fergasm is a feeling of euphoric happiness or sexual pleasure that occurs when a Craig Ferguson fan sees him do or hears him say something very sexy. This feeling is most often felt by cougars and teenage girls.
That's your audience. It's like, I can see one very unhappy dude sitting out there like, I hate this guy.
Okay, then there's a guy in France named Arthur
Yeah.
who has essentially ripped you off, right?
Oh, well,
he doesn't have
says it's
Fergasm.
an homage. I think it's fine.
What's the story there?
Well, he saw my show and he liked it, so he did it in French. And I think that's okay. I'm kind of fine with that.
I don't understand what you're saying. Did what?
He did my show. He does my show. He has all the things, apart from the robot. He doesn't have the robot yet. But all the other things, the puppets, the things that I do, all these things, he kind of
like
does
talking close to the camera?
Yes, all that. Yeah, he does all that. In French, though.
Dare.
No, I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine with it.
It's flattery.
I think, and he's very funny and nice man. I thought I could either sue him or befriend him, and I decided to befriend him, much to the consternation of the lawyers at CBS.
We're gonna have more with Craig Ferguson when we come right back.
This week, The Late Late Show takes over Paris.
Bienvenue à Paris.
Tonight, Craig and Kristen Bell see the sights.
Spit.
Tonight,
We are back with Craig Ferguson. All right, Craig, you've been hosting The Late Late Show since 2005.
Oh, really that long?
Can you believe?
That's terrible.
No, it's great.
No, I should be moving up. I need I need a daytime show, I think.
Well, would you like a seat here?
Yeah, no, I couldn't compete with the smells here. It's a lovely smell. I'd stink the joint up in a very literal way, I think.
Well, can you give us any advice, being that you've been doing season after season? Because in a few weeks, we're about to go start our second season.
Congratulations, that's nice.
Thank you. So, and you've gone through some changes. You have a co-host now. Well, Jeff is your co-host.
Yeah, I kind of, that'll go along as long as I don't get bored. I really keep trying to do the show which is entertaining to me, and sometimes people get annoyed when they say, oh, I liked it when you had that, and then you stop doing that, and I was like, well, I got bored doing it. And, if I'm not enjoying the show, I couldn't do it. So I have to find ways to entertain myself. My suggestion to you is, if you do a show every day, is you better find a way to have fun with it, because if you don't, it's a prison sentence.
Amen.
Yeah?
Yep.
In addition to your show, you also have done a few voiceovers, and you're in the Winnie the Pooh movie, right?
I did, yeah.
Do you like doing that?
I do like doing that, because you don't have to shave before you go to work. It's like...
Oh, you can go in your pajamas.
Yeah, you can do anything.
Fabulous.
You can just turn out. You can take your pants off and do it. If you... I'm the only one that does that, but I do it. No, geez, I had a Ferguson right there. That's what they sound like, apparently.
Now, since your last appearance here, you had a son, Liam,
did,
right?
yeah.
What's it like to have a baby in the house?
again?
Yeah.
Well, they're exactly the same as they're still unreasonable. They're still crying all the time. They still poo themselves. It's a lot of work, but it's great. I'm having a great time with it. No, it actually is. It's fine. He's like reverse baby though, Liam. He kind of like, he hates going in the car. right? Like, what? Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, no, my baby was that way because he's 6 months, right?
Right.
And
he
you
hates the
sweat
car.
when you're driving.
Oh,
They're
and he's
just
like, ah, and he's like the cartoon baby with the kind of figure-8 mouth with a little tongue in there, ah, like that. But he sleeps through the night. He goes to bed at 9 o'clock, gets up at 7 o'clock. He's like, hey, where's breakfast? But the car is when he goes crazy.
Yeah, I have no solution for you on that.
Well, it's bad
But
in
they
LA.
outgrow
In
it.
LA, you're going to be in the car.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, this doesn't work here, pal. We've got to find a different way.
Because he just stays home.
Now, earlier we were talking about personal space. Are you going to teach him about giving people their space?
Well, I don't know if I can teach a 6-month-old personal space. I mean, we're talking about an individual who pooed on me this very day. So, I mean, it's the definition of invading your personal space right there. But I don't really notice that. The only time I notice a personal space being invaded is when it actually is. I don't think about it until you get a close talker like that, like a kind of nice to meet you, really nice to meet you, close talker. Like, I don't like that. But babies are like that all the time. But I'm fond of him.
How do you react to somebody when they do that, though? Because you have to have a lot of people coming up to you. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I don't know. I guess I probably do. What I do is I kind of stand back a little bit, like that.
But don't they move in?
And then if they go like that. And then, well, I don't know. Sometimes if they're attractive, I'll just stop and see where they end up.
What about the people who, a woman, who you just know friendly, and they go in to kiss you, and they kiss you on the lips? That always, as a guy, like, I always think that's weird if, like, a guy that I know just hello and kisses me on the lips. It's a little tricky. What I do is, you know, give a little tongue, and that puts them off. So, when they come out, that'll show them.
And then they have that Ferguson. That's when the Ferguson comes.
Right. All right, you are, in addition to doing the Late Late Show, you are going to do some stand-up around...
I do occasionally go out and do stand-up. I like doing it. It's kind of like crack, I think, stand-up. Once you get kind of hooked by it, it's very difficult to leave it alone. Because I do it, you know, and, you know, Leno goes out and does stand-up. You know he doesn't need the money. He just goes and does it because it's a real feeling of freedom for a performer. You don't have to worry about, you know, the commercials or the FCC or... Well, you never used to. Now everyone's got a phone going, I can't believe he said that. Wait till this goes on YouTube. But it used to be the place where you could really let rip. But now I don't even
Is it true that you're sharpening your skills and when you don't go out for a while, you get a little rusty? I've heard
for sure, yeah. It's like flying a plane. You better keep it up. Because if you think you can do it and then you go back to it after being off for a while, you'll find that, you know, things have changed and the world has moved on without you.
In the last few seconds, where can people find out where you're performing? Go to your website?
I guess that would be the place.
Well, give some dates. Give some dates.
I don't really have them in my head. I don't, but there's some coming up, you betcha.
All right. Go to the website. Go to the CBS. Go to our website. We'll get them to you. Craig Ferguson, thanks for coming. Don't miss The Late Late Show every night this week at 12:35 on CBS.
I'm about to have a morgasm. Is that Craig incredible or what? He sucked all the charm out of this room, and I was like, how am I going to follow that?
No, you still... Oh. Nothing to worry about.
So while he was talking, this is all I heard in the audience. You're like, yum, yum.
And she was like, he's gold.
I know.